So the most important thing you need to do if you're launching a new product on Amazon is you need to have a complete conversion funnel. A lot of people think maybe you can rank a new product just with advertising, but let me tell you, those days are long gone. You have to nail every part of the Amazon marketing funnel, and I call that the Trifecta Method. So this lesson will be me going over exactly what we did step by step to launch this client's product from brand new zero to 75,000 a month in 30 days. So I'm gonna go over exactly how we set up the listing before launch for maximum conversion, how we launched on day one already with 10 reviews, also how we finessed pricing, coupons, advertising, and external traffic all combined that spiked us to the top of page one, and that's how the sales exploded. So let's just dive in. This is the system that we use. I call it the Trifecta Method. So this is all you need to know as a business owner. The sales that you can potentially get on Amazon is a very simple equation. It's the search volume times the PPC impressions times your organic impressions times your click-through rate times your conversion rate. All of those multiplied together are going to be how much sales you're going to potentially get. Here it is written out in a simple equation, and here is the funnel view. So I want to preface, obviously one reason they were able to get $75,000 in sales in 1 month was because it starts with the search volume. So don't think that any product can sell that much. Obviously, that's not realistic. There has to be enough search volume, okay? The bigger the search volume, the more sales you can potentially capture, okay? Everything below in this funnel is going to be capturing as much of those searches as possible. In order to do that, you need to make sure that you optimize every part of the funnel. So I'm going to show you how we did that. The next layer of the funnel is going to be basically how many impressions you get on the search page results. Those are either going to be coming through sponsored impressions or organic impressions. The thing that's critical to understand long-term is that your SEO/organic impressions and clicks must be the majority of your clicks. Otherwise, you will be too reliant on pay-per-click sales and you will not be profitable. But at launch, we need to strategically buy as many clicks and sales as we can through sponsored advertising, and I'm going to get into our secret sauce of advertising in a second. I'm also going to get into in a second how we maximize our organic ranking impressions right out of the gate. From there, you need to make sure that before launch, you optimize your click-through rate, and a big part of this is your main image. So we used our main image testing strategy to test 3 to 4 different main images. That way we know the click-through rate on that main image is optimized. And I'll get into the details of that in a second. And then from there, after they have clicked to your listing, now they are on your listing, and it's about maximizing the conversion rate. I have a whole system for maximizing conversion rate, but the critical thing that we did is we made sure pre-launch the entire listing is maximized 10 out of 10 for conversion rate. And I'll get into how we did that in a second. So all you need to know is you are maximizing and optimizing all of these 4 things, and that's how you're going to maximize your sales. Additionally, if they do not convert, you need to make sure that you set up retargeting ads to bring people back to the listing. So in a nutshell, we optimized all 4 of these things right out of the gate. And when you do optimize all 4 of these things, you're going to rank extremely high on page 1 and thus capture a ton of that search volume, because Amazon is just a search engine, and the vast majority of sales, like 70% of the sales and clicks, happen in the top 10 organic ranking positions. So we optimized all 4 of these metrics, ranked in the top 10, thus captured a ton of that search volume, which was a good amount of search volume for this target keyword. That's how we were able to hit 75K in 1 month. All right, so how did we optimize all of these pieces? So for PPC, let's go over to my PPC playbook, and I'm going to zoom in to the secret sauce, which is the Billboard Method. The Billboard Method is running stupid, simple, Amazon video ads. We've had multiple clients where running this framework nearly doubled sales nearly overnight. And I'll explain why this is super effective and why no one knows about this strategy. First of all, no one knows about this strategy because it's a strategy that I invented. See, I'm a graphic designer and I love to use Canva. So the reason that no one knows this strategy is because I invented this strategy. See, last year, I was on a mission to come up with the minimum effective video for an Amazon video ad. And I call it the Billboard Method because you can think of it as essentially just a moving billboard. You see, the thing that vast majority of Amazon brands and experts get wrong is they think that for a video ad, it should look like a TV commercial or some super well edited video, when in fact that doesn't work. What's more effective, because people are just scrolling down on their phones, what's more effective is just have a very simple billboard ad with a big bold headline, because the goal of a video ad is not necessarily to sell the product, but the goal is to first get attention and then pique enough curiosity to get the click. So I actually made a bunch of these templates inside of Canva. So what you got to do is basically use the 50-50 split screen method. On one side is big bold text with a big bright color, and the goal of this text is to pique curiosity. So use things that are like such a big difference. The only this sugar-free fire. So you got to really put your copywriting hat on and think about what will get people curious enough to learn more. And that takes expert copywriting skill. Another one, bakuchiol over retinol. We did this for this client because their product was bakuchiol, but there's not a lot of search volume for it. So what we did is I made this billboard ad for them, and we are going to bid on the keyword retinol. People are going to be scrolling down on Amazon. They see bakuchiol over retinol. Wonder what bakuchiol is. Let's check it out. Caught enough attention for them to click to learn more. That's the goal of a video ad, and we have found these to be extremely effective. Makes sense. Stupid, simple, works on Amazon. In terms of the rest of the advertising strategy, that's a whole video in itself. By the way, if you want to get access to this whiteboard, just click the link in the description and you can have access to all of this with all of my playbooks. The next thing, how do we optimize their organic ranking impressions? Well, the cool thing is when you do everything else right, here are my 6 pillars of the Amazon Launch Rank Profit Playbook. When you do all the other pillars right, you spike up in the algorithm because the algorithm is based on sales velocity and conversion rate. So the first pillar you're going to want to make sure you optimize is conversion rate, CRO. I'll get into that in a second. The second one is getting your reviews fast. So our mission is getting 30 reviews in the first 30 days. How we do that is we enroll in Vine, turn on request review automation inside of Jungle Scout or Helium 10. We use an insert card that's optional. And then step 4 is product tester sites, which is optional as well. And then SEO is pillar number 3, but I'm going to skip that and go on to step number 4. And I'll explain why in a second. Pillar number 4 is advertising. And the goal, as I've stated, is to buy as many sales as possible to boost your rank as soon as possible. Usually what we start in terms of a starting budget is $100 a day, just because it's a nice, easy round number to start testing and gathering data. You might need to adjust that in 1 to 2 days. First, you just need to throw something out there in terms of budget and then adjust from there. And then it's the test, keep what's best method. That's pay-per-click advertising. There's nothing I can say. Step 1, step 2. It's just at the end of the day, make sure your advertising is done by an expert that knows what they're doing. It's all about test, keep what's best and adjusting for your specific goals. And then step number 3, use the Billboard method for Amazon video ads. As I said, these are very effective. I have a whole Canva project with 50 plus video ad templates that I designed. You can see those in the link in the description if you want to buy those for a very reasonable price. Just do the shortcut, copy my designs, just put in your colors, pictures, and tweak the copy. But some of the headlines you can literally use for yourself because they can work for any product. Pillar number 5 of my 6-pillar Amazon launch playbook is pricing. So we were very strategic about the price, and price is everything on Amazon. So our mission is to get as many sales as possible during the launch phase, right? Because that's going to spike us up in the rankings. So how do we do that? You price as low as you can. So the secret here for consumables, supplements is the subscribe and save coupon. So what we did, it was a 40% off subscribe and save coupon. That is fire for conversion rate. What is a subscribe and save coupon? If you don't know, it gives the shopper an additional 40% off only their first order. And this is very, very, very powerful. So make sure you do that. And then from there, in terms of pricing, it's the same thing as advertising. It's just test, 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 and adjust. This is a big conversation we have with all of our clients. It's basically the marketing manager has 2 main knobs they can dial: the price and the ad spend. And how they dial those things is you got to work closely with the client because there's many variables. It is cash flow, it is inventory, and it is how aggressive you really want to push. So how much risk are you willing to take, and your goals for this product. Every product has its own situation, its own cash flow, its own inventory. So that needs to be paid close attention to. And basically you're dialing those knobs for your goals for this situation. And pillar number 6 is external traffic. So we drove some external traffic, and this is optional, but for a lot of competitive keywords, it is necessary to get enough rocket fuel to drive yourself up to the top 10 on page 1. So the mission, again, for launch is to drive as many sales as possible to skyrocket your rank. So step number 1, if you already have an audience, let them know you just launched on Amazon so they can go buy. That's obvious. Step 2 is the giveaway method. There are giveaway/rebate sites. In my opinion, that's the easiest way. And you can see the step-by-step in my external traffic playbook in this whiteboard. Step 3 is the paid traffic method. This is optional if you want to drive a little bit of paid traffic from Instagram or influencers to drive traffic to your Amazon listing. Amazon's algorithm loves external traffic sales. They know those sales are coming from external, and during launch phase, it acts as jet fuel because Amazon loves when you're bringing people to the platform. There's something about it, it just spikes you really high on page 1. Okay, so to recap, we are optimizing for all 4 of these things: PPC, SEO, click-through rate, and conversion rate. Here it is in a nice Venn diagram. You see, the thing is, a lot of Amazon experts or brands, they know about pay-per-click advertising and they think they can just hire an Amazon ads person and then they can just optimize the clicks and the bids and the placements and then their product will do good. No, you need to have a comprehensive strategy of optimizing all 4 things. If one thing is off, you're not gonna be successful on Amazon because Amazon is so competitive. Maybe 5-10 years ago, you could kind of have something not fully optimized, but today in this highly competitive market, you just got to be better. So you just got to make sure everything is fully optimized. So what about click-through rate, Riley? All right, I'll show you the click-through rate / main image SOP playbook. So basically, step 1 is hire an expert designer who specializes in Amazon main image design to design you 3 to 4 different main image concepts. From there, run 3 rounds of A/B tests inside of Manage Your Experiments, inside of Seller Central. It's a relatively new feature that you must be using. It's awesome. Amazon gives you the ability to A/B test stuff on your listing. So go to New Experiment, click Main Image, and run that shit. So it looks like this. Test image A versus main image B, run that, then take the winner, test it versus image C, then take the winner of that, test it versus image D, and then now you know with peace of mind for the long term, you have a main image that is optimized for click-through rate, thus maximizing your sales and profits for the long term. All right, sounds good, Riley. What about conversion rate? Well, glad you asked. So I actually have a whole video on here on the 20 elements that affect conversion rate on the listing. And I go through examples and exactly what to do. So if you want to watch that video, just click right here on the screen and let's continue because this is actually could be the most important part. So see you over there on that video. And if you have a question, leave it below and I will answer your question. And if you got value from this video, a like would be appreciated for the YouTube algorithm. All right, see you over on this video.